Hi everyone, welcome to our PT Plus online lessons. Now the main topic for today's lesson is describe image, where we will be breaking down the score criteria for pronunciation and for fluency to understand its key requirements and what it takes to achieve high scores in these two criteria. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, firstly, a quick recap. For the describe image question type, you will have 25 seconds to prepare what you want to say about the image. Then you'll hear a beep, and then you'll have 40 seconds to actually record your description of this image into the microphone. And remember that you can only record once. Now, for describe image, you are tested on 3 criteria: content, pronunciation, and fluency. So in this lesson, we'll be looking at these 2, and the first one that we'll be breaking down is oral fluency first. Now, for fluency, there are 3 key requirements. The first requirement is to not have any hesitations and not have any long pauses. Now, in describe image, this is actually one of the hardest ones to achieve because you are given an image and you'll only have 25 seconds to prepare for it, and then you'll need to be able to describe it fluently, smoothly, with no hesitations and no pauses for 40 seconds. Okay, so a template is an extremely key core strategy that can help us to achieve that. Because number one, these templates can actually help us to set our content structure. So it will guide our thought process about the key information that we want to be looking out for and that we want to pick up. And so therefore we can be a lot quicker at finding the key information that we need to say. Now, number 2, in your template, it will actually have filler sentences that you can actually memorize beforehand. And these sentences, when you're actually trying to find and look for the key pieces of information, saying these sentences will help you to buy that time so that you can look for more content and key information. So it'll buy time for your thinking, and they can also buy time for your mouth to prepare to say that piece of content or key information. So that's why the use of templates is an extremely huge help to us when it comes to describe image and when it comes to helping us minimize the number of hesitations and long pauses that we have in our description of the image. Now, the second key requirement in fluency is to have a steady pace throughout your description and your response, and also to maintain your pronunciation. So this includes having clear pronunciation and maintaining your sentence level stress as well. So a steady pace and having your sentence level stress. Now, again, because you have a template that can help you, this means it's very, very important for you to prepare your template correctly, okay, by making sure that in your template, you are first already identifying all the sentence level stresses that are in your template. And that when you're practicing the template, you're practicing saying these as well. Okay, and also at the same time, you're practicing your steady pace. Now, one of the very big mistakes that students often make is that they'll memorize their template and they become super, super familiar with the words that are in their template. So, for example, the black words over here are all template sentences. So they will become very, very familiar with those. Okay. But what happens in the exam is that when they're saying or using the template, because they're so familiar with it, they can say this sentence out super fast. And so they will be really quick at saying the template part. But then when it comes to inserting the content afterwards into the template, because this content is obviously new, it's something that you can't predict, okay? And it's something that is new that you'll need to put into your speech. All of a sudden then, when it comes to most used technology, this content piece of information, their speech is slowing down because it's a new piece of information and they're not super used to it yet. Okay, so you don't want to be making that mistake of going, the graph shows information about most used technology. Okay, you don't want to be speeding through your template and then having a really slow pace for your content afterwards. Okay, because that is going to be that you're no longer going to be using a steady pace. It'll be quite uneven and it'll be very obvious what's template and what's content. So when you are preparing your template, it's very important for you not just to memorize the words in it. You need to completely familiarize with, number one, the sentence level stress. You need to still bring out the stresses in your template. And the second thing is you need to continuously practice with a steady pace so that even in the exam, you're not rushing through the template. You're still saying it like as if it's very, very natural. You're saying something like, the graph shows information about most used technology. So then it sounds extremely smooth in there as well. So how you prepare your template, how you use it, and how you apply it is extremely important. And it's not just about memorizing the template and off you go. Okay. Now, the third key requirement in fluency as well is to have smooth rhythm and phrasing. So this is about communicating your pieces of information in chunks, in meaningful chunks, about having connected speech, and again about using your word and sentence level stress to generate that rhythm in your speech and in your description. So again, okay, with your template, you need to make sure that, well, firstly, your template will be broken into 5 sentences already. So you are already communicating in set chunks. So that's what your template helps you with. Now, the second thing you also need to make sure of is that you know where the meaningful chunks and little phrases are within your template. So, for example, in the first sentence of this template, there are 2 meaningful chunks. The first one is to say, the graph shows information. And the second one is to add on and say that information is about most used technology. So when you pre-identify the phrasing in your template, okay, this is how you're going to be able to know how to bring out the rhythm in your template, okay, by having your stresses and by adding your phrasing in. And also, you'll also be able to find where the correct places to pause and breathe are, because you're already breaking your template up and you already know where those areas are. So this is what we mean again by preparing correctly, okay? Not just memorizing the template and just off you go. You need to really, really prepare your template well to know all of these things that can help you not just maximize your content, but also your fluency as well. Now, on that note, let's also have a look at pronunciation too. Okay, and now with pronunciation, again, it's a score out of 5, and these are the 3 keys to pronunciation: having sound clarity, having word stress, and having sentence level stress. And now again, because as you can see here, okay, with most of your description of the image, the black part is your template, and the green part is your content, okay, that you're inserting from the graph. And so you can see that majority of what you're going to be saying in that 40 seconds is actually your template. So if you're preparing your template correctly, okay, you're identifying and learning and practicing all your word stress, all your sentence level stresses of your template, okay, you can actually maximize or increase and heighten, okay, your performance overall with the description, because most of what you're going to be saying is actually your template. Then all you got to make sure of is when you're adding in your content, you are again applying word stress onto the content that you're inserting in there, and overall you will have a very high, elevated, enhanced pronunciation score. Okay, so that is why we say with a template, anyone can have a template, but it's about how you practice with it, how you use it, how you memorize it and practice with it and apply it. That is going to make the biggest difference in your scores. Okay, so and we actually have detailed videos that go through every single line, every single word in the template to talk about the pronunciation and the fluency, how you can enhance those in your template. So make sure you watch those videos as well. Okay, so that's the end for this lesson, and I'll see you again next time on PT Plus.